Hello! Welcome to episode 48 of Little Bobbins Knits. My name is Dani and you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Little Bobbins. We have a Ravelry group which you can find by searching Little Bobbins Knits in the groups tab on Ravelry, and show notes for the podcast can be found at littlebobbins.co.uk. So I've got a very special guest with me today. I managed to persuade my mum to come back on. Mum was on probably about a year ago, do you think?
Probably.
And it was lovely. So I'm very, very pleased that you've come back on again. I don't know if you want to introduce yourself again, just in case people haven't seen the other episode.
Okay, my name's Liz and I'm Dani's mum.
And you're primarily a quilter, aren't you?
Yeah. I do a little bit of knitting. I used to knit a lot. Do a little bit of knitting now, not very
Only
much.
if coerced really now,
Only
isn't it?
coerced. I know that you'd really love me
Yeah.
to be knitting with you, but yeah.
So I've got some works in progress to show you. They're all socks, and Mum has bought some quilts to show you, and we've both got some finished objects. So, do you want to start with work in progress, or shall I?
You.
Okay.
Yeah, you start with works in progress.
So,
Oh my goodness.
yeah. I'm not sure what possessed me
Do you want to put it on my
to
lap?
do this.
'Cause you've got
I've
Bobbin.
got Bobbin on my lap. I don't know if you can see him. I expected him to go and sit somewhere else because
we're downstairs. You usually
usually I'm
podcast in your
upstairs.
studio, but yeah.
So a week or so ago, I felt inclined to gather up all of my sock works in progress. Amber, who is Yarn Hoarder on Instagram, she recently did this really fun challenge where she cleared out all of her sock whips. I'll link the hashtag and Amber's Instagram account in the show notes. But I just thought that looked so fun. And she was finding all of these socks that she'd started and really loved at the time, and then they got put down, as they do, in favour of the new and shiny yarn. So I thought I'd gather up all of mine. I actually was surprised at the number. I thought there would be more.
Yeah.
I think there were 10.
I was quite surprised at the number, but yeah, you were surprised. There may be more, Dan. There may be more
I know.
hidden somewhere.
But I think there are 10.
Yeah.
So I've gathered them all in this basket, and they take up quite a lot of space, actually. And I'm going to work my way through them. So the first ones I'll show you are the ones that I'm going to try and finish first. It's David's birthday on next Friday. And I wanted to get these socks finished for him. These are the slipper wearing monkey. This was a custom colourway from Felt Fusion. It's based on the colours of bobbin, and I absolutely love this yarn. It's sparkly. I'll show you in the sock because I love how it's knit up. It's sparkly and lovely, and there's little tiny bits of pink, little bits of tan, bits of grey and black.
Little Pinksy's tongue, I guess.
Yeah. And so I wanted to get these ones finished. They're a 68 stitch sock, which is just standard what I do for David. And I've done a slip stitch heel flap, a square heel turn, which is my favourite because it's so easy to remember. There aren't any setup rows or anything that you can forget, and I love how the yarn has worked at the bottom of the heel. And it has caused a bit of pooliness. It's not all the straight, lovely straight stripes. It's gone a bit.
Is that because you haven't put in an after heel?
Yeah, it's because I've added stitches
Right.
and then decreased them in the gusset. But I don't mind that really.
No.
I just really wanted to do a heel flap and gusset. I've been doing so many Fish Lips Kiss heels lately that and this is my favourite heel, so I wanted to start that. I'm using Xiaogu 2.25s, which I really like. And yes, so I thought that I would get those done for his birthday. But then I had a genius idea. Why not get these done as well? These were only one cuff at the time when I had this brilliant idea. I always overcommit myself
You do.
with things like this, don't I?
Yeah.
So this is exactly the same, 68 stitches with a slip stitch heel, square heel turn, and yeah, I've decreased for the gusset.
They're lovely.
They
love
are
the
lovely,
colours,
aren't they?
yeah. I like the needles.
They're my Knit Pro Zings.
Mm.
They're 2.25.
They go very well with the yarn.
I think so. This is the Imprim Jaune of the Gumi 50, Berger de France. And I would never have chosen this yarn. This is really not
No, it's
colours
not
that I choose, is it?
No.
But when we were at the retreat, one of the women at the retreat, called Emma, she was knitting these socks.
Yeah.
And everyone just completely fell in love with them.
Well, they're gorgeous, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think if you'd have seen that, you wouldn't have gone for it.
No.
Which is a shame, really. Perhaps
Yeah.
you ought to try things out of your
Yeah.
comfort zone. Because that's gorgeous.
I know. And I love how it's knitting up
Mm.
because, and this was completely accidental, but do you see how,
Oh, they're the same, virtually.
well, there's this stripe which is here,
Oh,
it's
I
like
see.
alternated.
Yeah.
So I really love how they've worked out. David is quite sensitive. He doesn't like scratchy wool, and I think that this is pushing it.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But Deb, who's Tink Hickman on Ravelry and Instagram, she's knit quite a few pairs of socks out of this.
Mm.
And she said that when they get washed and worn, they just get really, really soft.
Oh.
So I think before I give them to him, I'm going to wash them in the washing machine
Oh, that's a good idea.
to soften them up as much as I can. But I just love them.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to keep one out and knit while you're chatting about your works in progress. And then I'll go into some more socks in a minute.
Right, okay. Okay.
Because there are so many in there.
Yeah.
Might be good to have a break.
Right, okay.
So what are you working on at the moment?
Okay. Well, I'm working on this quilt. Oh, I should have shown my knitting first, shouldn't I?
Well, you can chat in a minute.
I'm working on this quilt. It's just, it's for somebody very, very special who will probably watch this podcast, so she will know that she's getting this for her birthday. It's for my very wonderful sister, Jack. And I don't know what size it is. It's quite a big one.
Shall we try and hold it open?
I don't think it will come in the whole thing. I was just going to get the middle bit. I've written bottom on there because that's the bottom, but that's the way up it has to go. But it's with one of those pens that you can iron off. So, but I saw, and I can't remember where I saw it.
A bit.
Oh yeah, okay. I saw a pattern of just a heart with some flowers on, just one heart. I can't remember where, and I thought, oh, that's really lovely. So I just sort of changed it a bit and made the middle with hearts and flowers.
That's really lovely.
Yeah, and just the patchwork bit is just 3-inch squares.
Was this my fabric?
No. Do you remember I got this fabric to go in that baby quilt I was doing?
Oh, right.
And then when we got it, we thought, oh
It was
no,
the wrong sort
it's
of
the
colour,
wrong
wasn't
sort of
it?
orange. But I think it goes lovely with this.
Yeah.
And this is Moda, Three Sisters, Faded Memory. So I thought it was perfect.
Perfectly apt for your sister.
Apt for Auntie Jack. And I love this fabric.
We love Moda, don't we?
Yeah, we love Moda. I think this no, that's not Moda. But I put some spots in it. So the top's all finished. I just need to lay it out.
Oh, and I love this fabric that you've got in there. That one.
Oh yeah.
It's like a notebook page.
Yeah,
I
I
love that
made
one.
3 hearts that hang from my lampshade. Like that. But yeah, so it's all ready to baste now.
What's Bobbin
So
doing?
that's one. He's in my basket. There's nothing in there that he can eat. Yeah. So that's one thing that
Perhaps I can
in
try and get a
progress.
picture of it laid out so that I can put it in the show notes.
yeah, or wait till I've finished.
You'll come back on again when you're finished.
Perfect. No, I was thinking a photograph when I finish because I might post it this
right.
weekend. I might. Just depends how much time I've got. And so that's what I'm working.
Should I do another one of my works in progress? Another from the
you
sock
can have
basket.
it on your lap
You haven't
now,
got a
'cause
bobbin
bobbin's
anymore.
gone.
So Mum said a little while ago that you'd like some more short socks, didn't you?
I did.
Mum's got this one pair. I don't know where I put them. I thought they were around here.
They were. Or they are. They're probably further round.
Somewhere now.
Yeah.
I knit Mum a pair of skedaddle socks by Lena, who hosts the A Wee Bit Knitty podcast. They're really, really cute ones. I liked those. They've got a cable down the back that goes into the heel flap, and they're quite short. And I don't tend to knit short socks. I think they're the only short socks I've ever knit, actually.
They're the only short socks I've got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Mum said she'd quite like some more short socks, so I cast on loads of short socks.
Yeah.
So this is one that I started.
That's really lovely. I can't
It's
wait
so
to
cute,
wear
isn't it?
those. Yeah.
So this is the Mrs. Weasley's Family Socks pattern. It's by Molly of a Homespun House, and it's a really lovely, simple, textured pattern. I've just dropped my ball on the floor.
Oh, that's going to be so nice having a pattern that Molly designed. Yeah.
So because they're Mrs. Weasley inspired, I thought that I would make them a bit more Weasley by mismatching the cuff and the heel and the toe. So I think the toe on this, the toe on this one will be blue,
Right.
and the toe on this one will be pink.
Yeah.
So I'm using the blue, yellow and pink for all of those bits, but just in different orders. And I think they're just Regia, those My First Regia little 25 gram balls, or 20 gram. And this yarn is Barenvuller, and it's faded vintage.
It's lovely.
I just love those colours. Not sure if it'll focus. It's really lovely. I've had this one in my stash for a while, and it's just so pretty that I wanted to use it for the right thing, and I think this is the right thing. I love how it's sort of spiralling round.
It's lovely.
I'm knitting these on 2mm needles, knit posing, because how pretty is that colour?
I know they match, don't they?
In Molly's pattern, she says to use 2mm needles. I rarely do. I usually use 2.25, and I am finding, I think I might be quite a tight knitter.
Right.
I am finding it's a bit tight on my hands.
Yeah.
I think if I knit them again, I'll knit them on 2.25, but I couldn't resist using 2mm needles because it's just so pretty. So that's another of my socks in progress, but I cast on 2 more pairs of short socks. So I have one of each finished.
And these are very short socks.
Yes. So these are the Rose City Rollers. I can't remember who designed this pattern, but I'll put it in the show notes. This pattern was everywhere a few months ago. Just as it came out, everyone got really excited about it, but I never got round to knitting them. So I'm really pleased I did. I used this Rico Design Superba Bamboo Superwash. It's 50% wool, 25% polyamide and 25% viscose, which I assume is the bamboo. But it's lovely and soft, and I love how it's patterned.
Yeah. Oh, that's very soft,
Isn't
isn't
it?
it?
So I've just cast on the other one. I'm not even fully through the roll. Yeah.
And what heel's that?
I just did a slip stitch heel on that. I'm not entirely sure what heel was in the pattern.
Yeah.
Because I just
Pretty.
used the measurement that they recommend for here, and then I put in my own heel flap and heel turn because they're my favourite.
Yeah. And that's stripy, and that hasn't mucked up pattern, has it?
But neither has this one.
Right. Oh, okay.
It's just with the variegated ones, they
okay.
tend to do that a bit. That's changed the pattern, but not very much.
No.
So that's one.
It's soft.
And then the other sock,
Oh, that's nice too.
you were saying that you just wanted it even shorter, weren't you? Than this one.
Than that one, yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
So I just cast on a rib. I think I did about 15 or 20 rows, and then went straight into the slip stitch heel flap. I think next time I would do the rib and then just a round of plain.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, I might just be thinking too much about it. But this is Drop's Fable. I think it's in the lavender print.
It's very
Colour,
pretty.
and I love it.
Yeah, it's very pretty. Yeah, that's soft too.
I used some in another project, so I've only got 17 grams left. And this is 17 grams.
Ooh,
so it's going to
so
be
it's
a bit
tight.
tight, but hopefully that'll be okay. But I just think that that is so cute. I did a rounded toe on this. I can't remember. I did a rounded toe on that one as well. Because I was measuring them against the socks that Mum really likes, and they have a rounded toe too. So yeah, when you say you want short socks, you get 3 pairs.
Lovely. I'm not complaining. But I do like all my socks. You asked me to see which was my favourite, and
Yeah.
I couldn't, could I?
Is that my... So that's my little short socks section.
Right. And so
This is knitting.
this is my knitting.
In Mum's Mrs. Brown's bag.
Which is lovely. I love this fabric.
Yeah.
It's so lovely, isn't it? So clever. Yeah. So this is what is this I'm knitting, Dan?
This is the Linus shawl.
Is it? Oh, there's the pattern. Yes. So I haven't done very much
Linus
at all.
on the line, it's called.
Yeah. I haven't done very much at all, and Auntie Jack's doing this as well, and she's finished.
She's nearly finished, yeah.
And I mean, she's nearly finished, and she's knitting socks and other things at the same
And
time.
she started knitting after you.
And she did start knitting right after me. Yeah, yeah,
So I held it up.
yeah.
So it's 2 gradient yarns striped together, isn't it?
Yes.
It's just
These
lovely.
two. That's the two yarns.
And your little stitch markers are from Mrs. Brown's bags as well.
Yeah.
A little teapot and a
Yeah.
cup. They probably won't focus. Yeah, and so these are the 2 gradients.
Yeah.
I think this was
This is
what's under your thumb there?
oh,
Gooseberry.
all right.
This is the gooseberry.
Oh,
I don't
right.
know what this one's called.
Oh, I don't think I've got the other label. No.
So what yarn is it? It's from Midwinter Yarns. Mum got this at Unravel when we
Yes.
went in
I did.
February. It's 100% Swedish wool. It's a 2-ply. It's all Centrum. And
And
it's lovely, isn't
this
it?
fabric inside this bag is lovely because that's knitted as well.
I don't know if they can see that from there. This is Mum's Mrs. Brown's bag. It's got a little knitted fabric on the inside as well. It might not focus on that, but
Yeah.
it's very lovely.
It is very lovely.
And you're using Xiaogu needles, aren't you?
I have no idea, Danielle. I just asked you for the needles.
Well, we got them from Unravel.
Oh, are these mine?
Yeah.
Oh, didn't know I owned any. What are these called?
Xiaogu.
No, the
Circular needles.
yeah. I didn't know I had any of those. Oh, I got those at the Unravel. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, yeah.
I think they're 4mm.
Are they? I know they're the right ones because you looked at the pattern.
Yeah.
Which one? Because I think Jack got some as
Yeah,
well.
she
didn't
got the same needles.
Yeah, yeah,
They're very nice needles.
yeah, yeah. They are. Yeah. And the only other thing I'm working on is I like to have a hand, for watching the telly, hand sewing. So I've decided to do an English paper piece quilt, and I'm doing diamonds, and I'm going to sew them into little stars.
I held it up.
Yeah. So I'm going to make lots of stars in different colours. It's a good way of using up scraps.
Not seeming to focus very well today.
It's all different colours, and then what I'll do is I'll join the stars and then fill in with I'm going to use calico because I love calico. Yeah.
And you're doing the stars all different colours, aren't you? So that's a blue one, you're going to do yellow one, red.
Yeah, yeah,
And group them together.
yeah, yeah.
You like order, don't you?
I do. Yeah, I really enjoy the process. So sorting them out in colours, I find it really, really therapeutic. Cutting out the templates, cutting out the fabric, tacking all of the diamonds and then sewing them together, and it was really interesting. The thread I'm using to sew them together is this, which Dani, we were over at what was that shop called?
There's a lovely shop
In Wendover.
a couple of towns over. It's called the Plain Stitch Workrooms. It's really, really lovely.
Yeah.
They have such a lovely selection of fabric, and it's really, really friendly, and I think that's so important, isn't it?
It is. It is. And bobbin could come in. So.
Yeah.
But the woman that I was talking to said that this was really good for the sort of thing that I do. And so, oh, Bob's.
Bobbins just upset himself by shouting at the postman with such vigour. He's made himself cough.
So she said you should try this, and I said, oh, that looks absolutely brilliant. And Dani said, Mum, I've told you about this before.
I recommended Mum got that months ago.
Yeah. And I said to you, no, I can't remember it, but I said to you, no, I'm not going to use that.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's absolutely brilliant. And
what's it called? It's The
called
Bottom
The Bottom
Line
Line.
by Superior Threads.
Yeah.
It's 100% polyester, I think.
But it
It's nice
just
and
doesn't
strong.
show any stitches
No.
at all. So that's lovely. And she was also telling us about English paper piecing, and you can get some glue and use freezer paper, and
Mum's too much of a purist to glue
yeah.
and things like that. You like doing it traditionally, don't you?
But I enjoy the process.
Yeah.
I don't think I would enjoy gluing and pressing.
See, I think because when you glue it, you get to sew the bits together sooner.
Yeah.
So I think I'd quite like that, because
Yeah.
you'd see something growing.
Yeah.
Because I'm not as patient as you.
No.
But you like gathering all the pieces and
Yeah.
then
And I
sewing them
like
together.
tacking them together, and
Yeah.
yeah. So no, not glue, not for me, but
No.
for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the thing I've just started.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I've had a look through some of your scraps, and
Yeah.
I'm using some of those, and I quite like. I know what I've used all these for, but I
Yeah.
haven't used that because that was one
That
of
was
yours.
my one, yeah.
But the others, that's Auntie Jack's quilt, and this is a piece of the African dresses I was making.
That's in my hall curtain.
That's in your hall curtain, yes. So and you remember those? It's
Yeah.
like the blanket that you've made for me. I look at that every morning and I
The
think,
mitered
oh,
square sock yarn blanket.
yeah. And I've only ever knit one pair of socks, and
But that's in there as well, isn't
that's
it?
in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's nice to.
Yeah.
And it's got all the socks that I've got that you've made for me in there, and I like that. I like thinking sort of seeing. Oh yes, that's that pair of socks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, Mum's wearing knitwear on the podcast, and I don't tend to wear any of my hand knitted stuff on the podcast.
Oh, this.
So we should say what it is.
Yeah.
So I knit this at the beginning of the year, was it? It's the Because I Love You wrap by Amy, who's inked indigo. Yeah. I used 2 colours of Madeleine Tosh Tosh Merino Light, Modern Fair Isle and Posy. And I did it as a test knit for Amy, and Mum stole it.
Oh.
You did, didn't you? Well, I said to Mum, yes, you can have this, but then I finished it and really, really liked it. So I wanted to keep it, but no.
Well, you
The
can borrow
commitment
it.
was made, yeah.
Borrow it. I wear this a lot, actually. Yeah. Because I know you're quite warm today.
I'm so warm. It's because I just had really hot soup, so I'm feeling really warm.
Yeah. So we've got the window open.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad I've got it on, because otherwise I'd be chilly. Yeah. Yeah.
So, have you got any intentions of how big that quilt's going to be? Or
No,
anything?
don't know how big it's going to be, and it will probably take me 2 or 3 years to make it. And that's fine with me. I'm not in a rush. I mean, if I have a deadline of something I'm doing, that's fine. But I'm not bothered about how long things take to do. Or,
No.
yeah. And I really enjoyed doing Jack's quilt because my sewing room, I'm really enjoying being in there now. And there was a while that I didn't, and I suppose that's because there was a lot of your things in there.
You can't blame me. You just weren't in the creative zone.
But now your knitting machine is not in my workroom, and I've got my cutting table.
This is just
round
excuses.
at an angle.
If you wanted to be making, you would have been. But yes, my knitting machine is now in the garage.
Yes.
So my last few works in progress, I'll just show you a few more of the socks that are in the basket.
Yeah, because you're really going to get these done, aren't you?
I hope to.
What have you called it? You and David came up with
Oh, I can't remember.
Oh, that's a shame.
I can't
It was
remember.
funny.
So yes, they're the short ones. Oh, and I've got a few in here that are just one sock. Oh, and I got this. Seems to attract Bobbin's hair. I think it might be a bit static. But while I was at the retreat, I recently went to the Curious Handmade Country House retreat, and my friend Amanda, who is Knitting Mummy on Instagram, had one of these. It's a sock ruler, and I tend to just guess if the sock is the right size. It doesn't always work out very well, but with this I thought I would start actually measuring. So I've got a little notebook in here that I'm going to put all of my measurements into. I think it's empty so far, but I will put measurements into and use my little ruler to work out the right size. I got this from theknittersattic.co.uk because I did recently have to rip back a pair of socks that I knit for Mum because they were just too long. I just suddenly realised that they would fit me.
Too long in the foot.
Yeah. So the other socks I've got in here, this is my lovely yarn from Dancing Dog Dye Works, which I just think is the most beautiful thing ever.
It's really pretty.
It's so sparkly. That's in the blue cake colourway. And I've got one of those socks in here finished.
That's lovely.
So cute, isn't it?
Yeah. And these are for you, aren't they?
No,
Oh.
because I've knit them too short.
Oh, great. They're for me then.
See, this is the hazard of not measuring.
Yeah.
Because I really wanted these.
You did. That's why I thought they were for you.
Yeah, but I'm hoping, because I'm doing cuffs, heels and toes,
Yeah.
I'm hoping I'll be able to get 2 pairs out of the ball.
Oh, we can be matching then.
And Michelle is actually having a knit along at the moment of, I think it's anything knit out of Dancing Dog Dye Works yarn, and it can already be started, so I'm going to be entering these. But I'll put links to the Dancing Dog Dye Works group in my show notes.
They're so pretty, Dani.
I know.
Oh, get the other one knitted.
And the base is called Glitter Paws.
Oh.
Michelle's got chihuahuas.
Oh, has she?
Yeah, she's got 2 chihuahuas.
Oh.
So that's how we
Yeah.
bonded. People do bond over chihuahuas. They're just
I'm not
such,
surprised.
they're such special little dogs. I wonder if that's the case for other dogs.
Maybe.
Yeah. And then I also have this sock. This is also for you.
Oh, lovely.
This
nice.
is from London House Yarns, and it's the Weather colourway.
Oh, yeah.
And this is yarn. This is the yarn that I used for the heel. It's got a fish lips kiss heel. And this is in your lefty shawl.
Yeah. That's lovely yarn. But didn't you knit some socks called Underground or something?
Yeah.
And
And they were supposed to be for
me.
you, but I knit them too long, so I've kept them.
Yeah.
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 So it does work
Well,
both ways sometimes.
I think I
It
get
usually
the
works in your
advantage
favour.
of it, yeah.
Also, it's really handy if I'm getting really impatient and I want to finish a project, because I can just knit them a bit shorter for you.
They're
So
lovely.
that's as far as the second sock's got
Oh well,
on that one.
that'll soon be done.
And then I also have these socks. This is with
Oh,
the
yeah,
Arnie and
that's nice.
Carlos Regia yarn. I think quite a lot of people have knit with this as well. This was a big yarn a little while ago. And these are a gift for a friend who continually helps us to clear the house and take stuff up to the tip.
Yeah,
So,
she does.
yeah, I'd like to give her a gift, and she really likes my hand knit socks. You might have heard me mention her before. She's the one who destroys socks.
She does. I don't know how she gets holes in the places that she gets holes.
No, it's quite impressive.
Infuriating as well.
Infuriating, yeah. But at least she wears them.
Yes, yeah.
Because I've knit socks for people before and they just haven't even worn them. Because I don't know why.
Well, you knit Auntie Jack some
dishcloths and she won't use them. No. Yeah. And this is another pair. I've got two at the same sort of stage, and this is with some hand spun. It's Felt Studio UK. It's a really, really sparkly.
Did you hand spin that?
Yeah, it's not going to focus. It's really not liking focusing on things today. But never mind.
That's lovely. Yeah, I like. I know you're going to show something later that you've done, but I like this that you spin.
That's because you like neat and tidy, don't you?
Yeah. Okay.
And this is all very. It's the same sort of thickness all the way through, and it's only a 2-ply because the nylon content is quite high.
Right.
If you feel it, I think you can feel the nylon in there. Not very woolly, is it?
No, it isn't very woolly, but it's very soft.
Yeah. But I thought
Who are these for?
You.
Oh, lovely. Very nice too.
I thought they'd be fine as a 2-ply.
They're lovely colours, Dan.
Yeah. And then my last...
Now these are for you, aren't they?
They will be. Because I've only got this far, so I can make sure they're the right size. And this is with my lovely sock blank from Maya at the Wool Barn.
Yeah.
Which I just love. And it's knitting up so cute, like you can see.
Yeah.
That was a heart. I just love these.
Yeah, they're really good.
And Maya's colours are just so pretty and so lovely.
Very you.
Yeah.
And that is interesting how the heart's coming out, isn't it? It's, it's very pretty.
Just like little stripes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think all of those other socks are knit on 2.25mm needles, and they'll all be 64 stitch socks because that's what I tend to use for Mum and I.
And they're what on the needle? What was that needle that I just saw?
Which needle?
Oh, it's gone now.
This one?
Yes.
This is a Carbons.
Oh, okay.
Knit Pro Carbons. I tend to use these when the yarn is a little bit slipperier.
Right.
Because it's got a bit more drag than higher sharps, which are very, very slick. And then I've got these needles in here.
You've got loads of needles, haven't you, Dan?
I know.
Yeah.
I've got loads of 2.25s because that's my most common sock needle. And I love having lots of socks on the go at the same time.
Yeah.
Because you just don't know, or I just don't know what I'm going to feel like doing.
Yeah.
I have no guilt in having loads of whips. I know some people have terrible guilt.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Some people will only have one project on the go at the time. They finish that and then move on to the next one.
Yeah.
But I love having loads of different ones. So.
I suppose it's what you feel comfortable with.
Yeah.
So there's no right or wrong. It's
no.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely just what you feel comfortable with. But saying that, I would like these to be finished.
Yeah.
So that I can cast on a whole bunch more.
Yeah.
I also have these needles in there, which are my Blue Sky Alpacas.
I think you've shown those before, haven't you?
Yeah, I showed them on the podcast with Mina.
Oh, did you? Oh,
yeah.
Right, okay.
While I was away at the retreat, Bobbins coughing again. Just cut that.
Pleasant.
While I was away at the retreat, I recorded a podcast with Mina, who is the knitting expat. She has a podcast on YouTube. If you haven't seen it already, I'll put links in the show notes and in my group. I did intend to upload the video on my channel as well, but since we had the same footage, it just seemed a bit superfluous. I thought.
Well, you can put a link.
I can just put links. Yeah. So yeah, if you haven't seen it and would like to, I'll put links so that you can go and watch it on Mina's channel. But yeah, I talked about those needles on...
Oh, I knew I'd seen them.
So that is all of my current works in progress. It's loads. They've just sort of exploded now onto the floor. Might have to do some untangling in a minute.
Yeah.
So shall we go on to our finished objects?
Okay.
Shall I do mine first because I've got 2 and then you can do... I'll do 1, you do 1, and I'll do 1.
I could have passed those over to you.
Oh yeah. Are you okay, Bobbin?
I don't think he is. Come up here. Come on.
You shouldn't shout at the postman so much.
Yeah, it's very vicious.
Oh no.
Sounded not like a little chihuahua.
No. I should have bought my sock blockers.
Oh yeah.
So I've recently finished these socks for Mum. They are the Geek Socks pattern, and I'll put a link to the pattern in the show notes because I've forgotten the name of the designer, unfortunately. I know she's on Instagram as Kiwi Yarns.
And these were my Mother's Day present, weren't they?
Your Mother's Day present, I think I finished them last week, and it was Mother's Day about a month ago. Yeah. But you got some other socks for Mother's Day.
I did, and I got a little treat. That little, I don't know what they're called.
What was that?
That I want you to knit me.
Oh, the bunny nugget.
Yeah.
Yeah. But these socks are knit out of British Bee Knits yarn. British Bee Knits does such fantastic self-striping yarn. She's actually preparing for an update coming up soon, which is exciting. She's got some Buffy colourways,
Wow.
some Harry Potter.
Lovely.
But these ones were inspired by Miss Fisher's Mysteries, which is on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
It's sort of Miss Marple mystery-y,
Right.
but I think it's Australian.
Oh.
And it's called Who Done It with the Poisoned Sugar.
Oh, how fantastic.
And I just love these
They
colours.
are lovely, aren't they? And they're lovely the way the stripe is
Yeah.
like that.
It's sort of a
And the
wavy
scarf.
chevron.
Yeah.
And I put in a fish lips kiss heel
Mm.
in hedgehog fibres in the stone colourway, which is one of my favourite colours ever.
Yeah, it's
I just
lovely.
think that's so nice. And these are really soft. They're so lovely,
They
aren't
really
they?
are soft,
I know.
aren't they? Oh, I'm looking forward to putting those on my feet.
So you can have them now.
Oh, thank you
Because
very
I've been
much,
saving them to
darling.
show on the podcast. So
Thank you. Thank you. I'll take them home with me.
and I
What are
knit
these
those.
ones I'm wearing at the moment.
They're the monkey socks.
Yeah, I like those.
I knit these socks on 2.5mm needles because of the slip stitches. I wanted to use a bigger needle just in case the slip stitches pulled it in at all. And I haven't cut the ends.
I think, I always have to do that, don't I?
I sew in the ends before I block them, but I really rarely ever cut them off.
No.
And they can get tangled round toes.
Yes, but it's okay because I always look now
Yeah.
and cut them out before I put them on. That's lovely, sweetheart. Thank you.
So your finished object's a pretty huge one, isn't it?
It's this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you remember on the last time Mum came on, she was working on this quilt.
Yeah.
Should we bring it down?
Oh, there's no point, Dani. It's too big.
Yes, there is a point.
Oh.
So it's huge. This is it folded in half. And you made this because you were inspired by the Tiny Owl Knits pattern.
I made mine because I was
Yeah.
inspired by the Tiny Owl knit pattern.
The
And-
beekeeper's quilt.
Yeah, and when I finished mine, you wanted one in all
Polka dots.
polka dots, so we bought loads of different colour polka dots, didn't we?
And you made yours out of all scrap yarn, didn't you?
No, scrap fabric.
Scrap
Not
fabric,
yarn.
yeah. But this one was just all different
All
polka dots.
because you love polka dots.
I
don't you?
do. So they're little hexagons that are put around
English
paper like
paper
English
pieced,
paper
yeah.
piecing.
Yeah. But
And then you stuff them with
you just sew two together and stuff them with
polyfill.
yeah,
And it's so cosy and warm.
yeah.
So you gave this to me on, was it Monday?
Yeah, I've probably been doing it for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet it's longer.
Do you think so? Yeah.
Well, we looked and I started my
Yeah.
beekeeper's quilt in 2011.
And that's when I started the one that's on my bed.
Yeah. And that would have taken you a few years.
Mm.
And then you started this pretty soon after
Yeah, so
finishing.
it would probably be about 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 or 3 years.
And this is my favourite hexagon.
Which isn't polka dot. It just says love, mama.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll focus. And then on the back it says 2016.
Yeah.
So that's lovely.
Yeah.
I'll put it back so otherwise I'll get too hot.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, that was good. I love doing that.
How did it feel finishing that project? Because I know when I finished the blanket that I made for you, I'd been working on it I think for 18 months and I felt a bit lost. Because I'd been working on it constantly really throughout the year, on and off.
No, I was quite pleased to finish it because it'd been rolled up in my work basket and I didn't feel I could work on anything else while I was working on it because there was no room in my work basket. So no, I was not relieved, but I was really pleased to give it to you because I knew you'd been waiting for it for a long time. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. What I was dreading was you saying to me, actually, can I have another strip down the side or at the bottom? And you didn't, thankfully.
No, it's a lovely size.
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
So my last finished object is some spinning. Do you want to pass it over to me?
This
and the thing underneath.
Yeah. Oops.
So Mum and I went to our local craft shop.
Yeah.
It's changed quite a lot lately. It used to be a shop and they were getting quite a lot of yarn and they always had like the up-to-date opal and regia and things like that, didn't they? But then they shut their storefront and they're mostly selling online, so they've got sort of, would they call it warehouse?
I suppose so.
But not in a big warehousey way, just rooms where they gather the things for the online orders. And it's much smaller now and they don't have the same amount of yarn, which is sad. But we went there the other day, just on the off chance, I can't remember why.
I can't remember why we went over there. I think you just wanted to
go and look at some creative things. Yeah, because we went to the fabric shops on the same day, didn't we?
We did, because they have a lot of creative things in there, lots of things to try out.
They have dyes, stuff for felting, stuff for scrapbooking, bits of fabric and and we found these. They're Noro rainbow rolls and they're a pencil roving type thing.
And she'd got some samples there that she'd knit with this.
Knit it as it is.
And done some weaving with it. Yeah, it was very impressive, wasn't it?
Yeah. But I didn't fancy doing that.
No.
So I wanted to try spinning with it. And it was really fun. It was really quick.
Are you going to do the same with this one, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 100 grams in this wheel and I just think it's so pretty. I love these colours. These colours are very me, aren't they? With the lilac and the grey and stuff.
Yeah.
But I found this one and I just couldn't resist these bright colours.
Yeah, you really were drawn to it.
Yeah. So it took up more than one bobbin. I was just going to spin it all on one bobbin, but it was really bouncy. So I spun it onto a couple and then when it came to join it I just felted it. Does that make any sense if I explain that?
What, felted the ends together or what you
mean? Because I had to apply 2 different balls. So I felted the ends of those together to make one big skein.
Yes.
Because it's very woolly.
Yeah. And so is it a single, Dan?
No, it's 2-ply.
Oh, okay.
And it's really, really lumpy and really, really bumpy. The fiber's really uneven and bumpy. You couldn't get a smooth yarn out of this. So if you want a smooth yarn, you should get a different pencil roving. But I just love the texture.
Yeah.
And the barber poling. Do you know barber poling?
Nice. Yeah.
I had spinning lessons. This lovely woman came round to our house and she taught me to spin.
Yeah.
And
she was so generous with her.
She was really, really kind. And I remember she came around one time and said, oh, don't do this because you don't want any barber poling. And I had no idea what barber poling was.
No.
But I just said, oh, okay, I won't do that then. Barber poling is where you get 2 colours that are different. I wonder if you'll be able to see. Twisted round each other like a pole outside a barber's where you've got the red and white. I had no idea what she meant, but I love barber poling now. I think it was not desirable when I was learning to spin.
Well, it was quite a long time ago, so it might not
Yeah.
have been the thing to do then.
But I like spinning for maximum barb upholding now,
Yeah,
because
you
I just
do.
think it's
Yeah.
interesting.
When you were at uni and your final
Bobbin.
thing, and you did a lot of different spinning, that was fascinating. The what was that called? The one where you got little things like that.
Coily bits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what, or beehives. I'm not sure what the names
No,
of them are.
But they were amazing.
Yeah, they're
And
quite
I've got
fun.
one that you did, a sort of a bluey one, hung up in my bedroom because it's so beautiful, because it's got beads in it and things.
Yeah, it's got beads, crystals,
Yeah.
silk cocoons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Bells.
just lovely. Yes, yeah. And I wouldn't want to use it to knit with because it's just so pretty in the skein. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of my finished objects. And I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. I think it would be lovely as some sort of 2-colour brioche
Oh, do you?
shawl,
Oh, right,
because it's
okay.
so squishy.
I was thinking it'd be nice as a hat.
Yeah, it would be nice as a hat as well. I don't know what weight it is. It probably goes from sport weight to worsted weight.
It's got so many different colours in it, hasn't it?
Yeah. And it's very, very soft
Yeah.
as well.
And this does not look like your usual spinning,
No.
because
My usual spinning, I think when I've heard a lot of people talk about this, when you spin for quite a long time, it can be quite easy to get into one rhythm where you spin the same. So I'll spin quite thin, so my 2-ply will end up being sort of a sock weight, and it will be quite even. It's quite difficult to get nice, interesting textured effects when your hands are used to producing sort of smooth yarn.
yeah.
And I think that's why I love this so much,
Yeah.
because I find it really difficult to spin thick.
Yeah.
But I quite like knitting with yarn
Yeah.
that's a bit thicker, so.
Oh. I remember when you were learning to spin, some of the spinning that
Slubby
you
bits.
did. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what this reminds me of.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I love it. So I'm really, really pleased with that. And I'm looking forward to spinning the next one, because I'm so pleased with this one, really.
Yeah.
And I don't spin very often, because knitting is my favourite.
It is. Yeah. I love it when you spin because I just find it. I doze off. Just
But every
listening
time
to
I
the
do
noise.
spin, I think, why don't I do this more? And I would if time wasn't an
And
issue.
what wheel do you use? What
Well,
wheel?
a couple of people have been asking me about spinning. So
Oh, you were going to say anyway.
Tiffy P89, Dilly Dolly Spin, both asked me about spinning on Ravelry in the, what do you want? Oh, I never remember the name of that thread. It's a thread that you can put questions in if you want me to answer anything. And Plumtown was asking on Instagram about my spinning. So I just thought I'd chat about it today, since I actually have some spinning with me. I don't know when I learned to spin. Can you remember how long?
Oh gosh, long time ago. Well,
Yeah.
it was before you started uni, so
10 plus years ago.
yeah, yeah.
And I learnt to spin because, how did I meet Beverly? I'm not very good at remembering this sort of thing.
I
But I met a very lovely woman who offered
Yeah.
to teach me to spin.
Yeah.
I got a drop spindle kit first and tried on that a bit, and then she came round to my house and taught me how to use a wheel. I bought a second-hand wheel, or you bought me a second-hand wheel, from a lovely woman from a knitting group we used to go to.
Oh, that's how you got into it.
Yeah.
Yes. When we used to go to knitting group at Taj.
Yeah, and that was an Ashford Traveller.
That's right.
And that was a fantastic wheel.
Yeah.
I used that all throughout uni. I did my final piece at uni, all to do with hand spinning.
Yeah.
So I used this wheel for all sorts of different techniques. I bought a jumbo flyer for
You
it
did,
so that I
yeah.
could do thicker things.
Yeah.
It was a really good adaptable wheel.
And you still got it.
I've still got it. But then, and I've always spun with drop spindles and things like that. I don't think I've ever sort of learned to do that. I think I've just sort of,
What, drop spindle?
yeah, I think I've just sort of done that on my own.
Yeah. You've got some lovely drop spindles.
I have. They're beautiful things.
Mm.
Yeah. But if you want to get into drop spindling, I would recommend the Respect the Spindle book by Abby Frankermont. And I think she also has some classes on interweave, perhaps. I'll see if I can find some links and put them in the show notes. She also has some videos on YouTube, which are just great, and you just watch her spinning and you just think, wow, this is amazing. Because she's been spinning since she was a really small child.
Oh, wow.
And it's amazing.
Yeah.
But then for my 30th birthday, Mum and David were going to join up to buy me a new wheel, weren't you?
Yeah.
And I agonised over this. I looked at so many different wheels.
You did.
I was looking at the Matchless, which is a really beautiful wheel, but it's a lot of money. It's like £700 to £1,000 or something. I think. This is remembering back a few years.
And we would have got you that one.
Yeah, but I didn't have anywhere where I could try it, and it was such a big investment that it's really, really difficult to do that when you can't try something. So I tried a few wheels at some shows we went to.
You did, yeah.
None of them were particularly...
They just weren't right, were they?
No.
For you. There was a lovely one, I think it was red, and I thought, oh, that's gorgeous.
The Ladybug, I think that's
Was
called.
it?
Shacked Ladybug, yeah, that's a lovely one.
Yeah.
That was tempting me, that one,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
And they've all got a little ladybird somewhere hidden on the wheel,
lovely.
and you don't know where it's going to be. It's different on all the wheels. It's really fun. But then a friend of mine got a new wheel, and I tried hers and absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
It's the Woolmaker's Bliss. I got the double treadle, and it was really, really reasonably priced, wasn't it? I think it was about £250.
I can't remember how much it was, Dani. But it was, and you built it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was about £250. We bought it one day, I think it was the Friday, and then it was a bank holiday weekend. But I remember it came within about 2 days.
It was very quick.
I was expecting to wait for it for ages because it was a bank holiday. But
But it came from another country.
the Netherlands.
Oh, right.
They're all made in the Netherlands. I think they're made by Louet. And they're just fantastic wheels. It's really smooth. I thought that my Ashford Traveller was fine. And it is fine.
That's a single tread.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah.
But it's really, really heavy to treadle. This Bliss is just so smooth and so easy. It's got lovely big bobbins, which I like, because I do like to cram quite a lot of singles onto my bobbins. And I couldn't recommend that wheel more highly.
You love it, don't you?
Yeah, I absolutely love it. It's probably not the sort of wheel for you if you want a traditional looking wheel.
Yes,
It's sort of got it's quite a modern wheel. It's white. I think it's like, what's it made out of? It's where you've got loads of layers of the wood.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called.
Laminated?
Maybe. But it's just quite a modern look, which I really like. But yeah, if you are in the market for a new wheel, I would really recommend that because it's very reasonable.
I remember it being, I can't remember how much it was, but I remember it being really reasonable, and we were really surprised that that's what you were going for, because you usually go for the most expensive.
Not on purpose.
No, not on purpose.
But it comes sort of flat packed and you build it yourself. But that wasn't difficult either, was it? And it comes with a screwdriver.
Oh, you use that screwdriver for everything.
It's my favourite screwdriver. So it comes with everything that you need to build it. And then you get this fantastic screwdriver that you can use for all of your home improvements.
It's the best screwdriver you've got.
It is. So yeah, it's a great wheel.
Yeah.
As for resources, if you have a local guild, I would recommend going to one of those. See what it's like. They're all different. I won't say anything about that. But yeah, if you can find a local guild, then they can have some people who can help you learn to spin, or they might run classes. And there are a lot of guilds around. Other than that, I'm not entirely sure. I know there are a couple of craftsy classes, but just giving it a go, I think, is a really good way to start spinning. So yes.
Yeah, you were really lucky with who taught you to spin, because she brought round an awful lot of different types of fleece, didn't she? Yeah.
Yeah, she'd come over just with bags of stuff, and it would have all different fibres. She was very interested in me sampling, so not trying to spin a 100-gram braid that I would then work with, just trying out these little samples of all different fibres, and it was experimental and it kept things really interesting. It was just what I needed to learn, I think, and to be interested, because it wasn't about the finished object, it was just about seeing what these things felt like. Because she brought over cotton and things like that, and I would not spin cotton now, because it's really, really hard, and you need a certain sort of spindle, but there were just no rules. She'd just say, you want to try spinning that? We'll card it into something else. Could you bring over her hand carders as well? And
you got some hand carders. Somebody gave you your first hand carders, didn't they?
Yep, she gave me hand carders and a niddy noddy. And the niddy noddy I still use. It's just fantastic. I would use the carders, but I stepped on one, I think.
Oh, but you got new
I've got
carders.
new ones.
And you've got
I got a drum carder, I got a lovely drum carder for birthdays and Christmas. I really like getting nice tools, because they're not something that I would treat myself to.
And David and I often go halves, don't we?
So I got a lovely hand carder from Classic Carders. They're a British company and they're all made by this one man.
And there's a beautiful painting on the side of yours.
And I've got sheet painted on the side of mine. It's really, really lovely. But that was a complete load of ramble about spinning, but I hope some bits in there were interesting or useful. If you do want to have a go at spinning, I would really just recommend having a go and not being worried if you produce really lumpy bumpy yarn, because soon when you can spin, you're going to be so grateful that you can spin yarn like that.
But you wouldn't have been able to spin any other yarn with that.
No, you wouldn't. No.
That you used.
No. But just give it a try, I say. So, I'll go on to some lovely things now. You haven't got any lovely things?
I haven't got any.
Well, you've got lovely new socks.
I've got lovely new socks. I've got lots of lovely things, but I didn't bring any.
No. I've got some lovely things. I'm just going to have a sip of my tea.
Probably be quite cool now.
So I've been sent some really lovely things to give away on the podcast, and I'll probably talk about them. Well, I'll talk about them again when I come to giving them away, but I just wanted to show you them now. I have shown them on my Instagram as well, but they're so pretty. So the first one I was sent was from Little French Meadow, and they sent me 2 skeins, one very kindly for me and one to give away on the podcast. And I'm going to keep this one because it's really out of my comfort zone.
I was going to say,
I know.
It was obvious the one that you would keep, and it would be the other one.
I know. And that's what they thought, actually, when they sent it. They said they were sure that I was going to keep this one. This one's Candy Floss.
It's beautiful.
It's a very, very pretty pink colour. So we'll have a giveaway for this coming up soon. The Little French Meadow is on Etsy. So you can find it by going to etsy.com/Little French Meadow. And this one is called Paris Skies. Battery's gonna die. And I was also sent some more lovely yarn to give away, and this is from the Stranded Dye Works. And Amy, who dyes for the Stranded Dye Works, actually has a podcast which I just enjoy so much. She's really funny and really interesting, and she just knits beautiful things. So she sent these 2. She gave me this one. She sent that one and said it was for me. This is called Roadside Flower. And it's a MCN. which is a merino, cashmere and nylon. I don't think, there it is. It's beautiful, it's all pinks and greys.
That's gorgeous.
And this is the one to give away, called Fanfare.
That's really, oh, what a fantastic name.
Isn't it?
That's gorgeous.
And this is just beautiful. It's got purples, blues, reds.
Yeah, golds.
It's really, really fun.
Really pretty.
My camera's having a terrible time of focusing today. And I've noticed that the battery's going to die. So I'm wondering if I'll show these next time.
Okay.
So I'll put links to everything that I talk about in the show notes. We need to draw for the prizes for the little along, so I'll do that next time. I'm hoping to record next week or the week after. I think I'm going to try and get into a sort of 2-week thing while I try and build up again, because I've got really out of the habit of podcasting. I'll tell you about these in the next podcast. But thank you very much for coming to watch, and thank you, Mum, for coming on.
Oh, you're more than welcome.
I periodically badger you about coming on, don't I? So I'm very glad that Mum actually did come on. And I will look forward to seeing you next time. So thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Bye.